something worth mentioning. And one of the big things I focus on, or at least my primary big picture objective for what I focus on, is making a living gaming. That's something I preach. That's something I talk about, which obviously, being Gears of War 2 champions, and I'm sure you guys are familiar. I mean, obviously, obviously, I don't think you were ever even able to make living gaming from Gears just because of the low payouts. I'm not too sure about, how the sponsoring worked for Gears. If you guys actually got decent sponsors that would pay you if you won an event or came in second, or obviously how the contracts are worked out for that. I mean, obviously, I'm aware that the more money that's financially backed into a game, the more opportunities are going to be there for sponsorships and whatnot. But at least to my knowledge, I've never heard about anyone making a living gaming, at least from playing Gears.
Not Gears? No, not so much. I mean, if there were going to be any team that were going to, I mean, we made over the course of 3 years, probably as a team, 150,000, and that's including like everything. And then we did have some couple of sponsors. We got offered sponsors that in the contract said they would pay for airfare, food, flight, yada yada yada. But in the contract, there are some no-nos, like they can tell us what events to go to. They can tell us that we can't go to it. It's just all up to them. Like they would own our lives, and it was a 2-year contract. So, there was opportunities for sponsors like that, but it wasn't worth it. And the stuff they wanted us to do, it was just kind of a little ridiculous. I mean, I understand wearing the T-shirts, doing this, doing that, montages, blogging. I understand all that. I have no problem with that, repping them. But the stuff that the certain sponsor wanted us to do was a little ridiculous. To say you could have made a living off of it, no, not necessarily. There needed to be a little more promotion with the game and with all the other stuff. But for Gears 3, there's definitely going to be, I think, there'll be a possibility to make a living off of just the tournaments, just because now MLG is actually working with Epic, the developers, and that means more money. That means more, sponsors that are going to be interested. That means more, everything. When the developers
hopefully.
That's what I'm hoping for. But with the developer actually interested in the game itself, there's like no way it's going to fail. I mean, look, for example, if you look at Bungie with Halo, even though I might not like all the Halo games, how many sponsors that get into it just because of the developers with it. They're a big name, yada yada yada. Because I know I have a lot of connections with these pros, with pretty much a lot of the top pros, and a lot of them tell me about all their sponsors and the sponsors that they have that they're making, as a team, just for 1 year $80,000, and that's not bad for a team, splitting that as a team, and then on top of the 20,000 they're making, and then on top of their own little sponsors and all that stuff. So it's a possibility,
of course.
Maybe, but I don't know. Sorry to run your just running my mouth.
To be honest, bro, it's no problem at all. Honestly, I actually prefer it. If anything, that's kind of one of the big things. And I'm a type of person, I love to talk. You feel me? So, one of the big things I focus on is, really making sure that I can, not only make that connection with people I'm talking to, but I love hearing all walks of life, because for me personally, I'm not too familiar with the Gears of War scene itself, so it's definitely good for me to kind of, hear it from another, professional player like yourself, especially one more, obviously, specifically for MLG or whatnot. And, so I, to be honest, one of the things I really wasn't aware of, obviously what you just told me, was about the whole, certain teams get sponsored for the 80K. I'm familiar. I'm aware that, some teams do get money or individual contracts, like, for example, one that enabled a scout with Red Bull, and now he's the second gamer on there aside from Walsh. So I'm familiar with those type of individual ones, especially when they did, T-Square's 250K contract back when they did Final Bosses, like 1 million or whatever they got for that 3-year period. So I'm definitely familiar with that, but the 80K stuff I'm not really too familiar with. Obviously I'm sure, or aware that could be something that they would be getting offered, but I've never heard it before. So
it was just like that. For example, Triggers Down had the Hot Pocket sponsor. Their coach made more than some of the top Halo players, like just for coaching. I mean, so Hot Pockets and then I know that Neighbor got just a loan for his individual sponsor for Gunner Optics. He got just a $15,000 sponsor. I'll take $15,000 just for putting on glasses. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff like that. that yeah, there's money whenever you get to those bigger sponsors. It just depends on how you find them and
Oh yeah, like the tiny little endorsement deals. Oh
yeah.
yeah. I even watched. I remember when I was watching Elamite's interview that he did with his mom and stuff like that, and he was talking about. He did this one interview where they interviewed him at his house, and he was saying, I'm going to be clearing like 100K or whatnot, this year, and he was talking about how he was getting that from sponsorships that got with Straight Rippin' back when, Snipe Down and Legit were with them, and then he said he was also working on other things as well, that also helped him get there,
Yeah.
or whatnot. So, and all that stuff's great. Anyways, I'm sorry, obviously getting to the point, I always love having conversations. I'm a type of person, I just love talking with people. Anything, competitive professional gaming, it's always something that, it's my life, really.
Oh no, I
I
agree.
sit here, I'm on 115 hours a week, you feel me? So,
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm the same way.
yeah, but I'll be doing this shit for the rest of my life until I'm like 99. I'm trying to make it to triple digits, you feel me? So, if I could do that till I hit the carpal tunnel, I'm straight,
Yeah,
or whatever it may be. But anyways, I'm sorry. Getting back to the point, is that I'm sure one of the messages that Money sent you, what it has to do with is I actually have this introductory packet that I've made, and pretty much anyone who sends me an email address, I'm always hitting people up, and I'm always trying to put this out there a lot more, just because what my introductory packet is, it's a collection of my best works. It's stuff that videos I've made. Obviously, everything I do all has to do with making a living gaming. So if you're someone out there who's a competitive gamer, you're looking to go out there and win successfully, go to tournaments, whatever it may be, my intro packet is the perfect thing for you. And pretty much anyone that sends me their email, I'll send it to them. If they just say, hey, look, I heard about your intro packet, send it to me. It's got podcast episodes I've done with the Pro Gaming Show, which is this new podcast show that I just started, that I actually have been doing. We're already in our 6th episode, and everything we talk about in there has to do with making a living gaming. Anything from team recruitment to how to train, how to practice properly, how to prep, all these things that obviously have to do with tournament playing is really the big things, at least I always talk about, and really anything to do with it. So my intro packet is definitely a great thing. Yeah, I don't know have you ever read my guide? I don't know if once again, I'm not too sure if you know too much about me. Once again, I'm not that big, but I wrote a guide to competitive shooters. It's called Boss Nasty's Universal Guide to Competitive Shooters. It was at one point in time when I first made it. I've updated it a bit, but it was called TCG's guide to it was like Call of Duty or Guide to Competitive Shooters with Call of Duty examples or whatever, or Modern Warfare 2 examples, something like that. But anyways, and pretty much what my guide talks about is my guide. Well, to be honest, my guide is probably the best fucking guide out there, in the world thus far right now for competitive shooter games. If you're someone, a player, a team looking to make a living gaming, it touches on every point you could think of: positioning, angling, choke points, spawning, how to schedule your team, how to recruit properly. It talks about the mental game. Anything and everything you can think of. These are all the things it focuses on. And, Money's always been someone who always hits people up for me, or he just goes out and does it. But obviously that's one of the things I'm doing. Another big thing I'm doing, too, as well, is I'm doing this thing that's called 5 Gamers Living Together. Pretty much it's this program opportunity that I'm doing, and there's applications on my website. And what I'm doing is I'm taking 4 gamers from across the country and I'm moving them into a house. So kind of like the Straight House, if you ever heard about that. That T2 did or whatnot. Back in the day. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like that, but except it's on a whole nother level due to the fact that what it is it's me taking these guys from birth, from the beginning of when the team's created. With Straight Rippin', they were together for about a year or a while before they even moved into the house. And on top of that, they didn't even do it where they were going to live together. They only did it for like the summer or whatnot. This is something that I'm literally taking 4 gamers from across the country, guys, girls, whatever it may be, and I'm putting them into a house. And I'm going to train them, prep them for about 2 to 3 months, and then after they're prepped, tournament ready, this is going to be for Halo Reach, it's the first season of it, and then after 2 to 3 months of them prepped, when I deem them ready, we're going to start going out to tournaments, National Gaming League tournaments, Coast Land tournaments, MLG tournaments, of course, World Cyber Games, even if they end up picking up Reach or Black Ops, obviously because they just did their 2011 poll. I don't know if you're familiar with that, so hopefully we'll be coming out, and they'll be letting us know about what games they'll be running for their 2011 season. So like that, and really, this team in itself is going to be making a living gaming. This is going to be, the fact is, if you look at, which I'm sure you're aware, you definitely sound like a very aware, smart guy, and the fact is that the majority of teams, see, the funny thing is a lot of people don't realize this, but 99.9% of all teams that go to MLG events literally waste their fucking money. And the reason why they do that is, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, the reason why they waste their fucking money is due to the fact that is due to the fact that when they go to events, they sit here and their expectations are, okay, we're going to place top 32, but then they don't place top 32, and then they keep going back and back and back, and